So we welcome to the show Dr. Christy Ferguson, a food psychologist. Good evening to you, Dr. Christy.
Hi there, hi.
I should say Dr. Ferguson, I suppose, really, but how are you?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very good. And thanks for spending the time to talk to us. There is always a huge amount of debate, conversation, story, breaking news about what we should and shouldn't be eating. And it constantly seems to be changing the landscape as well. But there's some research that I hope you're going to enlighten us to right now, which is about how actually our preferences on flavours have also been changing over the years.
Yeah, so this research, it was done by Loyd Grossman Sauces, and it found that 68% of sort of 24 to 35-year-olds, for example, were willing to try those kind of bold, vibrant flavours that they maybe weren't used to when they were younger. And whereas the older generation were not so open to trying those new things, they preferred the meat and to veg.
So does the research suggest that that's now changed, or...?
Well, it's the younger, so, you know, the sort of younger generation are kind of becoming more interested in sort of spices and curries and those kind of more vibrant flavours, whereas the older generation were a little bit more, they're not as open to trying those. So it shows that we're kind of changing over time. We're kind of becoming more open to experimenting a little bit more with our flavours and our tastes.
Okay, and why is that? What's the psychology behind that?
Well, I think a lot of times now, you know, as we're getting sort of 20s to 30s, we're travelling more. We're trying to find our own independence. So we're wanting to experiment a little bit and taste new things. And I think that's kind of been reflected in the research.
And what kind of things can influence the flavours that we as individuals prefer?
Well, a lot of times, I mean, when we think about the psychology of taste, I mean, the research asks people about certain foods, you know, things like the gamey meats and caviar, oysters, you know, the more unusual foods. And a lot of times people would already decide that they didn't like it before they'd even tried it. So there's obviously some kind of psychology going on there. And sometimes it could be things like textures. Textures can really influence whether you decide you like something. We don't like things that are not familiar. So we tend to sort of go with the foods that we're used to, that we've been brought up in a lot of times.
Yeah, I think that's very true. And I know that I've certainly had conversations with parents that have said, I don't think I'll like that.
Yes.
Well, how do you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what the research is showing. We hadn't even tried it. We'd already made an assumption that we weren't going to like it and we weren't going to try it. But I think the fact that that sort of generation between sort of 20s to 30s are starting to go into more of the spicy flavours, you know, it shows that we have a wee bit of a sense of adventure. And what was really interesting in the East, for example, 41% of people trying new flavours, it was only really when they went to dinner parties. So when they're in that situation of sort of social pressure of having to, I don't know, probably keep up appearances and try something new.
And what does it say about our lives in terms of, you know, our sense of flavour? So having a sweet tooth, presumably these days, is quite a bad thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, I think as long as you're going with sort of natural ingredients and sort of going in for the, you know, that kind of nice tomatoey based sauces are lovely because they still have that sweetness to it. And about 43% in the East, for example, found that they still had a sweet tooth. So I think that carries on with us, although children, you know, as kids we have more taste buds, so we actually prefer blander foods, and then as we get older our taste buds kind of dull a little bit, and so we sort of still have that the sort of need for maybe something a little bit sweeter. But also 15% found that they like spicy flavours as well. So we're really liking those kind of vibrant flavours and the curries. So I think it's getting that balance, isn't it? You know, going for something like the tomato-based sauces for the sweetness, and then we've got the curries and the vibrant flavours with the spices.
And is there any such thing as flavour memory?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to smell, doesn't it? So, I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm out and I smell something, it can just trigger that memory of, you know, a past experience or when we last smelled it. And I think flavour ties into that. So we have all the aromas of certain foods, and that can sort of relate back to, you know, a celebration or growing up in our home, what our mum used to cook us. I think there's definitely an association there.
There definitely is, because I'm now starting to feel hungry and I can't smell
about
anything. But, so yeah, I'm getting food memory coming at me. So listen, thank you so much for your time today, Dr. Ferguson. It's a really interesting chat. Where can people go to find out more information about the research that you've got?
Yeah, so if they want to find a wee bit more about this, and also for some great recipes, they can look at loydgrossmansauces.co.uk, and also for sort of daily inspiration, because I think we need to get more adventurous, they can follow us at Loyd Food.
And once again, many thanks for your time. I appreciate you spending time to talk to us. Cheers.
Thank you.